Hello, Teachers Lounge. Oh man, I am so excited to do today's training. I hope you guys are ready. I put in the little caption up top to get your pen and your paper because I have a lot more than 5 tips, sorry. But I'll try to get through all of them as within the 30-minute span as quickly and, understandably as I can. So if this is your first time ever seeing me do a training or go live, my name is Nadia Khalil. I am a business coach. I work with multi-passionate entrepreneurs in the beginning and idea phase. I help them with social media strategy to gain visibility. So that's what I do. That's who I help. And I want to talk to you guys today about Instagram. I am so excited because I'm a big fan of the gram. And for those of you who are not using it, I'm sure you have your reasons why. Maybe today's training might get your head, your gears going a little bit more about Instagram because it's totally a platform that is worthwhile. It's definitely something that you want to be on. I want you guys to think about if Instagram was a person, it would be like in the toddler kid phase still. So there's a lot more development that's going to be going on with Instagram. But as of right now, it's still in the baby phase. So if you're not on there, don't shy away from getting on there because you think that it's too late. Honestly, statistics are showing that within the next 6 months, there's still going to be millions of more people jumping onto Instagram for the first time. So there's still time for you to get, Insta famous, okay? For those of you who don't use it, you might want to consider it because it's actually 58 times more engagement than all the other social media platforms. So just think about that. It's more popular in terms of engagement. It's more popular than Facebook, than Twitter, and as my mom likes to call it, my mom calls it Snappy Chat or Snapchat. So I just want you to really, really think about it. And with all things, if you're not consistent with it and you're not investing your time and your energy into it, it's not going to do well. That's just the way it is in business. So you can make a lot of money if you use Instagram correctly. I'm going to share some tips with you on how. But I want you to just stop and think that Instagram is more user-friendly. It's easier to just go through pictures. If it's visually appealing, it'll catch your eye. You're more likely to pay attention to it. Hey, everybody just jumping in. Hi, my loves. Nice to see familiar faces in here. So excited. Thanks for tuning in today. So I just want you to think about Instagram for a second and how it's more visually appealing. It's easier for you to truly brand yourself on Instagram, and it's easier to gain new followers on Instagram. It's also free. I know Facebook is free, but is it really free anymore? I don't think so. Anyways, guys, so I am excited to jump in. I hope you have your pen and paper because if you're anything like me, when I walk out of a training, I am like totally pumped and ready to go. But then if I haven't written it down, it's like I hit the refresh button on my mind and I remember nothing. It might be because I have a mom brain, but I need to write everything down. I don't know about you, but I highly, highly recommend writing down what I'm going to go over. So when this is done, you'll have actionable tips to walk away with that you can implement right away. Okay, guys? So let's get started. If you have questions. Oh, Amy's having trouble viewing. Anybody else? Amy, you might want to click out and then click back in, my darling. Okay? So let's talk about how you guys can grow your following, but just keep in mind, you want to be consistent with what I'm going to go over. Oh, good, Shelly, I'm glad. Hi, Veronica, nice to see you. Yes, I am such a fan of the gram. I am a total fan grammer. If that's even a word, whatever. All right, guys, so the first tip we need to talk about is I like combine 2 in 1. So like I said, it's probably going to be more than 5. But you want to make sure your profile is public. I'm seeing this a lot. If you have an online business and you're trying to sell online and you're trying to use Instagram and monetize it, you need to make sure it's public. If I go to you and it's private, I'm just going to walk away because then I just feel like you're not really available. Or maybe you're just not a public figure or what have you. But you want to make it public. And you want to make sure it's not a personal page. You want to make sure it's a business page. Now, I'm not saying make it a business page because that'll make you look more official. No, guys, no. Listen to this, okay? So the business page allows a contact button underneath where people can contact you directly. And it also allows for my favorite tool, which is the Insights addition to the platform. Okay, now the Insights, I don't know how familiar you guys are with testing, with your marketing tactics, but it's so important, right? Insights really gives you an inside look in terms of your target market. So I'm going to give you a couple different ways. So when you click Insights, and it's usually on your main profile, you get to see the age range of your following. So where most of your followers fall in between of age range, in terms of age range. You also get to see if a higher percentage of them are male and female. And my favorite part of Insights is that you get to see Monday through Sunday what hours of the day your followers are most engaged. Now, I don't know about you guys and how serious you are about testing your marketing tactics or your marketing initiatives, but this is so important. I personally, now when I schedule my posts for Instagram, which if you're not doing and you really want to gain a large following a little bit more quickly, then you want to schedule posts, okay? I schedule them, and as I'm scheduling them, I pull up my Insights feature on Instagram, and I'm looking at what time each day is the most popular time for me to post. Now, this has tripled my engagement. I've seen way more likes, way more followers. I'm accessing my tribe at the time of the day they're actually on. Okay, good, Shelly. I'm glad you're learning something new today, my love. Okay, so you want to check this feature. You want to be strategic in your marketing. So Instagram is like, here you go, more awesomeness for free. Okay, this also helps too, right? Because you want to know maybe later with Facebook ads, like I don't want to go into another realm, but it helps to know your age range for your target market. It helps to know if they're male or female, where they live, you know, what time of the day are they on the gram, right? You don't want to just post and then not have it be seen. You want to be strategic about the time that you're investing. So it also it lets you see which posts are the most popular. I get freeze brain sometimes, guys. Please excuse me. I'm like a deer in headlights. Like, so if that happens, just, you know, within the next second, I'll come back. Just don't let me lose you there. All right. So that is the first tip, is to make sure your profile is public and turn it into a business page, not just a personal page, so you can have access to this amazing Insights info for your marketing. Okay. All right. The second tip I have for you guys is to stop confusing people. Your bio is so confusing. So let's say you're an expert at funnels and I go to your profile and it says Wanderlust Fancy Dancer. No, we need to revisit your bio and we need to fix it so people can really within 2 seconds get a gist of who you are. So make sure it's a clear, concise bio with like a nice little picture next to it that kind of doesn't look like, you know, trashy, or it doesn't look like, you know, not professional, but, you know, it ties into your branding. So in your bio, you just want to be clear. You want to say who you are, what you do. I totally missed my finger there. Who you are, what you do, who you help, and how. And if you don't want to put in how, just put in how to contact you, okay? Which you have that contact feature once you turn it into a business page. Really simple. Who you are. I'm Nadia Cleo. I'm a business coach. I help multi-passionate entrepreneurs in the beginning stage and idea phases of their business. And this is where to find me. Here's my website, okay? And you always want to have some kind of either your website or like an opt-in or maybe a freebie download, some kind of link that's actionable for them that invites them to connect with you. Okay, guys? So make sure that's not confusing. I see that so often where I jump onto somebody's page. How do you see if your profile is set to public or private and your page is a biz page? I don't see it in my profile settings. you should be able to go into the little wheel at the top into settings and set it to business page. You should be able to do that. There's also options, you know, to link it to your Facebook business page. Sheesh, I don't even remember because I did it so long ago. Like, I just went in and the option was there in my settings. Amy, if you want, you know, just dig around a little bit, and then if you can't find it, reach out to me and we will figure this thing out, okay? Because your page needs to be on the business setting. Don't worry, we got this, okay? All right, so the third one. Now, if you really want to monetize Instagram, you gotta stand out, okay? So your branding, this is the third tip, is your branding. Really, really infuse yourself into your branding and make sure that it's consistent. If I go to your page and it's all over the place in terms of color scheme, in terms of your messaging, in terms of what you do, it's just gonna throw me off. It's gonna look like it's just not concise, and I'm gonna leave, and I'm not gonna really trust you as the expert. So I want you to think for a moment, right? Whose Instagram page are you in love with? And I want you to do a little bit of work here. I know most of us, because we're like an information overload, we don't wanna do this, but I want you to go into Instagram and I want you to pick 5 people. And if you're not willing to do this, like, you're not really willing to monetize Instagram. Let's just be serious. So pick 5 people whose page you will absolutely love. And I want you to think about, what is it that you love about these Instagram pages? And how do you feel when you click on the page? Like, I know, for example, I like to follow what's the name of the handle? Oh, Boss Babes. I go there and I just feel like a chic, top level CEO boss babe. As soon as I click on the page, I feel like, you know, just drinking tea with my pinky up and just like telling people what to do, because it just makes me feel so empowered. And that's just their branding, okay? So I want you to pick 5 pages. Write down what it is you like about them. Write down what it is you like about the way it makes you feel, because that is the power of branding. Then I want you to go back to your page, quickly take one glance at it, and see how it makes you feel. Okay? So branding is really the way you make people feel, through your color scheme, through your personality. You know, many of you in here, you are your brand. So make sure you're being crazy, crazy authentic in your messaging. Don't try to do what other people are doing. That is exhausting, and you're going to find yourself playing catch up all of the time, and you're going to find it really difficult to connect with your tribe. So infuse your total personality into it. You're going to see higher levels of engagement and connectivity, and people actually relating to you, thus wanting to work with you. Okay, so be consistent in that. I always tell my clients, like, pick 2 or 3 colors. Don't go above that, you know, just so it looks clean. And then in your messaging, make sure that you're really talking to your niche market. And that's like a whole other realm, but that's something you got to be clear about, which really, really helps your branding be consistent. Okay, guys? So just make sure that, you know, if you look at your page and it's confusing to you, just imagine it being confusing to everyone else. Okay? So, write it all down. Write it all down. What do you want your page to make people feel? What's the first thing you want them to capture in terms of your messaging? Who's the kind of person you want to be looking at your page and have it be like glue so they just get stuck, okay? And take your time. Don't just half-ass your images or your graphics. Take your time, okay? Personally, I take like 2 hours a week just to make my graphics. I like to schedule everything in advance. That way it gives me the flexibility to just, you know, post throughout the week randomly. But at least I know that if I take that time to create my graphics ahead of time, that I know it'll be consistent because I can see it all in front of me. Does that make sense? Versus like on a whim every day, on a day-to-day basis, just like freestyling it, that it kind of invites that inconsistency. Suggest I rewrite their quotes? Yes, I do. Gia, I suggest you, for example, I suggest you just have a graphic, maybe like with your handle in the corner, which you should always put your handle on every image. Another tip there for you, another little bonus tip. Always have, you know, your handle, which is the name you have on Instagram, in the corner of every graphic. And if you like somebody's quote, screenshot it, go back into your graphic that you have saved, a blank version of it, add that graphic in there with your font and your handle on it. okay? And if you want to shout the person out, you can. Try not to always copy the same person's stuff over and over, because then you just get in trouble. So don't do that. But yeah, there have been plenty of times I will screenshot somebody's image because I really love it, and I'll just repost it and I'll put my handle on it, okay? But just make sure it's not like somebody's, too much of somebody's content. I hope that makes sense, okay? All right, so let's go into tip number 4, okay? Now, this is a big one. All right, this is a big one, and this one is about using hashtags. There is a significant difference in my gram game between when I was first starting out on Instagram, not using hashtags, to now. Okay, now I love Instagram for this also. As you're typing in a hashtag in your post, on the bottom will pop up how many times that hashtag has been used, so you can see if it's trending or not, okay? You want to pick popular hashtags. Now, I have a free hashtag guide, all the do's and don'ts, because if you really want to gain visibility quickly from the right audience, you got to use hashtags, and Instagram allows you to use 30 in a post. So I would highly recommend downloading my guide up there. It's a quick to the point guide, what to do, what not to do with hashtags. All right, because it's a great way to get new followers. It's a great way to share and expose yourself to more people. And if you choose the right ones, you will position yourself as an expert for using them consistently, okay? Like I said, when you type in the hashtag, Instagram will show you if it's trending or not, and you get to pick. Maybe you're using a hashtag and then underneath will pop the same hashtag but with an S on the end. Like, let's say I put boss babe, right? And that only has 500,000 other posts. Under it might be boss babes with an S, and it might have like 1 million posts. So I'll know to use that one instead. Okay, so this gains you a lot more exposure. You want to pick 30, type them in a little notepad on your phone, and copy and paste them into every post, because if you really want to be visible and positioned as an expert, using hashtags is a great way to do it if you know what you're doing. So go grab my free guide that's in the description of the do's and don'ts of hashtags and start. You can start this like tomorrow. Okay, let me see. Oh, you know what too? Create your own hashtag and use it for every single one of your posts, okay? And then it can become trending also. Guys, if you do this correctly, like, you could even be found on Google if you use it enough, okay? All right, so now we are at the final one. I hope you guys are still with me here, okay? And this is something that breaks my heart when I see somebody who just has like amazing content and they're on the right track, but they are just not sealing the deal. And this is not including call to actions on your posts. Now, a call to action isn't just like, click the link in my bio. No. A call to action is just telling them to do something. You know, people like to be told what to do deep down. If we're like lost, you know, we just do this, just double tap and like my picture. Okay, double tap. So sometimes I see people putting up these amazing motivational quotes. All you gotta put is double tap if you agree. That is a call to action. Psychologically, if I've taken action on, even if it's just a double tap on your page or on your post, I'm more likely to remember you. I'm more likely to recognize you again because I've physically done something on your post. So now it's like, not like we have a full-blown relationship, but like we've interacted, you know? So always make sure to have a call to action on at least 90% of your posts, okay? Now, different call to actions, you can say, hey, for example, so when in my wellness coaching days, when I was selling my wellness coaching programs, I used to put up videos, maybe like me and my sister, my cousin doing a workout together, and I would simply put tag your workout buddy. That's it. Like, who motivates you? Tag that person today. Make them feel special. It could be double tap if you agree with this motivational quote. The other day I put up a post that said, what books are you guys reading? And then I put I confessed about my addiction to reading books and like never finishing one before jumping to the other. And I asked, hey, do you guys have this problem too? And people were engaging and they were like, yeah. And they were just putting what books they're reading. You have to remember that social media is all about being social. And if you give people a chance to interact with you, then they'll really get to know you. So you can ask them to tag someone, you can ask them to like it, you can ask them to comment, you can ask them to share and repost. Whatever it is, the engagement is the key. Now, my favorite call to action is when I'm telling them to click the link so they can be on my email list so I can connect even further with them. That is definitely something you want to do at least once or twice a week, maybe more, depending how consistent you are with your posting. And I want you guys to really just take these tips and spend the time, really spend the time studying other accounts. What are they doing right? Take notes on it. What is it not working for you? This is where you go back to tip number 1 and look at insights. And if you see that some posts really just don't get engagement, stop doing them. Stop just being active in your business. Start being more strategic. And Instagram gives you the opportunity to do that. So take advantage of it, And don't just set it and forget it. Don't just set up your posts and walk away and not check in with people. If they're commenting on your stuff, like their comments, respond to them. Go back every at least once a day and revisit the people that are engaging with you. Okay, there's other apps too you could download to further study your engagement. Further study who's engaging, who's not. So use this stuff to your advantage, guys. There are people making millions of dollars on Instagram. Now, I don't recommend adding this to your list of social media platforms. I recommend picking 1 or 2 platforms and really sticking to it. So if Instagram is going to be the one, then good for you. I'm excited for you because I love it. And I invite you to take these tips. And I think I have more on my website. Yeah, I have more social media tips on my website. If you guys want to check it out, CoachNadiaK.com. Do you guys have any questions? I'm going to run through my notes, see if there's anything else. And by the way, it's 8:30, almost 8:30 in the East Coast. So if you hear a delirious child running around and screaming, I apologize. That is my son. All right. I hate that Facebook Live does this lag time. Oh, I found one little thing I didn't tell you. About engagement, guys. Instagram provides you with the option of stories at the top. I've noticed that I've retained a higher amount of followers using that. So don't sway away from it. If you can just post to your story at least once or twice throughout the day, do it. I may have missed this, but what do you think of biz accounts? That was the first thing I covered, Sophia. Definitely go back and watch this. Yes, business account, turn it into a business account simply because there's features added to business accounts that really allow you to study your target market. And I talk about in detail how, just for the sake of not being repetitive, just go back. I thank God you can rewind. Yeah, I love Insta stories, and I'm noticing that I'm getting a lot of viewers on that, and I'm losing less followers because you're always going to lose some followers. But my retention has gone way up thanks to Insta stories too. So don't be afraid to use those features, guys. Okay. I hope you found these tips helpful. I look forward to keep connecting with all of you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Sophia Rose, what's your handle? I got to check it out. Yeah, you guys should all post your handles in the bottom, and I'll go follow all of you guys. And I'll go check it out later. All right, guys, have a great night. Stay well, and thanks, Lindsay, for the opportunity. Have a good night, guys.